How did we prepare for having triplets? It was a little hard to prepare. I don't know if you really can. It was surprising. It was exciting. It was nerve-wracking, and it was scary, I guess. You know, there's a high risk when you're having more than one baby. They had physical therapy very early on, and Matthew being more typical, we could see what he was doing, and maybe Sean wasn't able to do that. No one really was real quick to slap a label or a diagnosis on Sean, but you just kind of slowly started to see, he's delayed, something's not quite typical. What are we doing? And you kind of treated it like that. I remember the day that we were told that Sean was hearing impaired. That was like a definitive day, I do remember. You bring the babies home, you kind of do what you're doing, and then, he didn't pass his hearing test. So there was a phone call saying, yes, he's severely hearing impaired. And that was, that was really upsetting, obviously, and scary and confusing, and, you weren't sure what to do about that. As they slowly got a little bit more sleep, and we got a little bit more sleep, things did get a little bit easier. And I guess when they were first born, I was kind of a lot more uptight, worried all the time, and making sure you wanted things to be a certain way. And you had to be sort of scheduled. But I've been able to, over time, slowly, hopefully, been able to just enjoy my children more.
Being a triplet is something I never think of. And people get amazed when people were shocked that I was a triplet. Being brothers is a very, very positive sign to look up to, because I just love having support here. My favorite thing is to do hip hop and R&B. Expresses my anger. And whenever I have a bad day and listen to music like that, it makes you feel better. Makes you motivated, ready to go, all pumped up and stuff. My head comes from pain to love will suffer. I suffocate right before we're about to drown. She would too.
The music piece, I can't really say for sure when he started kind of getting more into the music. I think he stumbled on that just on his own, just surfing through things and watching things, and yeah, it's opened a whole world for him to be able to do something independently and not have to have mom or dad nearby to help. Sporting events have always been big in my family. We've done baseball, we've done football, we've done hockey, things like that. That's the kind of stuff we usually wind up doing as a family.
Oh, my experience playing for the Power Play Wheelchair Full Hockey Club, it's unbelievable. Playing for this team is something that I never ever thought of before. It's been unbelievable. I won 2 championships and 2 trophies that I had. The Most Dedicated Player Awards back-to-back years in 2017 and 2018. And so far this year, I'm doing the best in my career high in points. So.
Sean was always kind of the most spirited of my 3 boys. Always the one that was maybe going to get in a little bit more trouble or start silly things. The one memory that I have of them is sitting playing video games, like hours and hours and hours, lined up in front of the TV, playing video games and arguing about it and joking about it. And it was just like a fixture. And then we'd have other neighborhood kids come in, and it was always like this semicircle around the TV. And that's something that they could all do. And that was always just kind of the fun part. And Sean would always direct because he couldn't actually play. He discovered YouTube, and he just started watching people and just became amazed with it, and the fact that he could access it himself. He could do it independently. When he would be watching TV, it would be, can someone change the channel? Can you make that louder? Can you, whatever he needed. With the iPad, he could completely control himself. And I think that was it. Ideally, that's what you want to do in a career, in a job, in a hobby. It's I can do this and I'm pretty good at it, and I'm willing to work at it. And I think being hearing impaired, you're very visual. So that ties in too, because you just get good at visual things and knowing what looks good and developing things that you can see.
What is the most challenging thing in my day-to-day life? Trying to overcome the stress. I'm a college student, and I know how college can be stressful sometimes, and I get stiff all the time. My muscles get all tight, which is unfortunate. So bad days usually occur right around when your day's not going so well.
Cerebral palsy has affected, it affects the whole family when somebody has any kind of medical issue or disability, but I think it's taught us all patience. It's taught us creativity. How can we make that work? When something doesn't work, can we make it work some other way? So creativity, patience, like I said, you kind of get a sense of humor, you kind of laugh at certain things.
So how do I stay positive? I stay positive by telling stories, obviously doing my hobby, relaxing, meditation, speaking up for yourself. I feel like, in my opinion, everybody should be treated with respect like everybody else. But from my perspective, it's actually having a better, positive life. And I feel like I have so much positive attitudes.
Oh, well, you've met Sean, and he motivates all of us, He just has such heart and such spirit, and you get aggravated, and he just always keeps us going. He always has some kind of joke. He always just has something, some kind of random funny thing to say. That really keeps us inspired. And my other sons as well. I mean, they have their issues, and like anyone, and that's what really keeps us going. Just each other, really. But we've also met so many amazing people through this that we never would have known. Organizations we've become involved in that we never would have known about. And we've met so many incredibly inspiring, hardworking people, children, adults, and those friendships and relationships never would have happened. So we're grateful for that, really.
That Hesser is a great organization with people with disabilities, and there's a lot of people in there, like volunteers helping kids, like kind of like teachers and stuff. So what Hesser, the reason why I'm the face of that Hesser organization, because that's when I started when I was 3 years old. I remember, I'm thankful for that place because they developed me into the way I am today.
This event's a big one. We're celebrating 100 years of impact, so we continue to change and evolve, and part of what we're celebrating tonight is not only our history, and that's where we brought the Hesser family in to talk about what they've done with Easter seals, but also part of what inspires us is where we're going to go. So Sean has been able to do so much more now that there's technology. I remember when he got his iPad and he started playing hockey games online and doing his own homework, and there's such freedom in that. And what Easter Seals wants to do is raise funds tonight so that for the next 100 years we can keep innovating and discovering what the next technologies and therapies are so people can lead more independent lives.
What I will tell you is it is 3 now young men who have already done some pretty great things, and I suspect the best for them is yet to come. I've had a chance to get to know them over the last several years, and I will tell you that they're loving parents, and they are passionate about creating equal opportunities for independence for their kids and for every child in our community. It is my honor to welcome the Hesser family. Thank you all.
Thank you, Liz, Carl, and the Board of Directors for Easter Seals for inviting us here tonight for Easter Seals' 100th celebration to tell our story. I'm excited to be here with my family and all of you, especially since I'm here with all 3 of my sons tonight. It's a bit of a rarity now that Matt and Kevin are away at college. I must say, looking back over the last 22 years, believe it or not, this family of 5 has come a long way. The challenges of my sons' plural births, and the focus towards their development have drawn us really close as a family. In one of my lower moments, I looked at Sean, and he was pretty young, and I asked, "Do you get sad being in that wheelchair?" And honest to God, he looked at me right back and he said, "Dad, it's me. It's who I am." And I quietly thanked him, and I never questioned it again. As parents, Easter Seals is helping us wade through the uncertainty of our situation. And most importantly, they are helping us succeed. Our debt to Easter Seals is immeasurable, and we are very thankful for such people and such a program.
That speech with my family, I was emotional. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't even chime in and say. I was just like proud of myself and proud of this, you know? And that's what I have to say about that. How do I want people to perceive me is I don't want them to be like, I'm not treated like a baby, I'm like a 22-year-old man, so I want them to treat me like I'm a normal person. When they look at me, I just want them to know that I can do everything. Anything is possible.